What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Alright, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about this latest episode of Winning Time, episode 6. And episode 6 was titled Beat LA, which of course was the famous Boston chant during the, and you still hear it from time to time, but it was the famous Boston chant that you heard for decades whenever a team, in particular the Boston Celtics, were playing LA, especially at home. But you definitely heard it back in the 80s. Definitely heard it back in the 80s during the Lakers-Celtics Magic Bird rivalry. So this episode touched upon a couple of things, and one thing that they did that indicates to me that they're going to move more forward in time, faster in time than I thought they would, because some of the pacing in earlier seasons and early episodes was like a snake's crawl. This episode moved from 1982 to 1983. Alright, so it moved a year. And of course, this episode comes after the consolidation of Pat Riley as head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. And Jerry West becomes general manager, largely because of the health issues that Bill Sharman had with his throat. But anyway, in this episode 6, there were a couple of things that they focused on. They focused on the trade of Norm Nixon. All right? In real life, Norm Nixon got traded virtually on his birthday. I think the date was October the 10th, 1983. His birthday was the very next day. Matter of fact, I think his teammates, as depicted on the show, had a birthday / farewell ceremony for him as he was being traded to the Clippers. Back then, they were the San Diego Clippers. I think within 2 years, that's when it became the Los Angeles Clippers. So in a sense, Norm went back to LA. The episode focused on that. It also focused on Jerry Buss's breakup of his marriage to, I think her name was Honey. Now, in the show, it's depicted as if Honey came into his life, let's say around 1981, it seems, and then divorced in 83. But in reality, he married her in 1972 and divorced her in 83. But I mean, you get the impression that they were married, but maybe they weren't really together, even by the time toward the latter parts of the marriage. And of course, the big problem was, as you see in the show, Jerry Buss never technically divorced his wife, Joanne. He was still legally married to her. So, legally, they were never really married, Honey and Jerry Buss. So, I can understand that pissing off any woman, let alone a woman that has so much to lose as a woman not really legally married to Jerry Buss in the event of divorce, or in the event he passed away before her. So that was something they touched on. And also they touched on the fire that happened to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's home in 1983. That did actually happen. I knew they would touch on that. And that fire led, in the show at least, it led to Magic's recommitment to the team. This is a guy that at one point in time, if you look at the show, he was considering leaving the team. He didn't particularly like the fact that his role was being reduced a little bit because of Pat Riley's system. He liked the system that Paul Westhead had, where he was more involved offensively. He didn't like the fact that Magic was having more influence on the team. He didn't particularly care for Jerry Buss. He wanted to go back to New York. But the fire, and he saw the love that the fans were showing him, it changed his mind, and he recommitted to LA. In real life, I want to say that fire set him back so much. I'm trying to remember the details, but I think the fire coincided with the fact that he found out around that time that many of the investors that he had hired to take care of his money were swindling him and had been laundering a lot of his fucking money into their pockets. When he found that out, that's one of the reasons why he played so damn long, out of financial reasons. That's why he played until he was 42 years old. Partially why he played until he was 42 years old was because of financial reasons. But anyway, another good episode, and the episode starts with Magic and the Lakers winning their second title in '82 against the Sixers. But then you see in '83 them playing the Sixers again, but now with Moses Malone. And they focus a little bit on Moses, but you see Moses just dogging them. Moses dominated Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in that finals. I think he had 72 more rebounds. No. What was the stat? Not 72 more rebounds. He out-rebounded him 72-30. That's what it was. He out-rebounded Kareem 72-30 in that 4-game series. Just completely dominated Kareem. Kareem was a great player, but Kareem struggled with bruisers. He wasn't the biggest guy. Even though he was a little bit bigger as he got older, he struggled with guys like Kareem. He struggled with guys like Artis Gilmore. He struggled with an older Wilt Chamberlain. Even when Wilt wasn't a guy that was scoring at that point of his career. So he always struggled against the bigger dudes as far as on defense. But he excelled against them offensively, except for in that series. But we would later see Kareem play some of his best basketball in '85 when he's 38 against the Celtics in the finals. You also see glimpses of James Worthy in this series. Now, James Worthy, unfortunately, I think with like 2 weeks to go before the start of the playoffs, broke his leg in '83, so he wasn't available in the playoffs. That could have helped the Lakers, obviously. As far as that trade with Norm Nixon, you will see, I think, as the next episode progresses, you're going to see the benefit of some of the guys they got from that trade. I believe one of them was Sven Nader. Let me make sure of that. You may have heard me mention the name Sven Nader before when I was talking about Andre Drummond. I said, well, if Andre Drummond's going to the Hall of Fame, yeah, there we go. 83, 84, he played for the Lakers. Yeah, if you're going to put Andre Drummond in the Hall of Fame, well, my goodness, put Sven Nader in there. 2-time All-Star in the ABA, 2-time All-ABA second teamer, ABA Rookie of the Year, ABA All-Rookie first team, NBA rebounding leader, ABA rebounding leader, 2-time NCAA champion, averages of 12.4 points, 11.6 rebounds. Yeah, put him in there. But anyway, you saw them adding some pieces to the team that's going to take them ultimately to the finals in '84, where they're going to have a showdown with the Boston Celtics. We're probably going to see that in episode 7. So watch out for that. Episode 7 should be finally the showdown that we've been waiting on between Larry Bird and Magic Johnson in '84 finals. And you saw that at the end of the episode. You can see they're gearing up toward that. So I thoroughly enjoyed this series. And I hope you've been enjoying it too, if you've been watching it. But anyway, tell me what you guys think.